This video, we're going to be talking about denied homeowners insurance claims and what you should do and what you shouldn't do if your claim's been denied. So I'm going to be your narrator, your guide, your instructor, your helpful hand. My name is Mike Keeler. I'm a licensed public adjuster in the state of Florida. So what insurance companies know through their own data and research, and it's easy to do. All they do is take all the denied claims over a certain period of time, whether that's 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and then they can kind of uh, remove some of that data to show who had fought their claim, what the payout was after the denial, um, several different ways they can break down the data. So they know, and they actually have conventions for defense attorneys who represent them where they show slides very similar to this. And that is basically they know 90 to 93% of people do not fight and do not pursue their claim once it's been denied. Part of that is people don't know how to fight their claim once it's been denied. And not all the time, but the great majority of these claims happen to be smaller claims that are denied that probably shouldn't even been filed in the first place. But again, not all the time. It's just that you don't see a large claim or claims on a consistent basis get denied because that would look too obvious, and there's a lot of reasons why that doesn't happen. Usually, the damage would have to be severe, like a fire or really bad windstorm, but those never get denied. Like if it's hit by a hurricane, the only other way would be really a fire claim. So that's why normally they're smaller type claims, the great majority, and very few are really large claims. So let's look at some of the reasons the claims are going to get denied. And roof claims and water damage claims are the top two claims. Roof damage, anything related to hail, wind, storms, those are always the number one type claim reported to home insurance companies. And number two is any type of water damage. So these storm wind related events, like a hurricane, um, sometimes we get these tropical storms or just some other freak storms. Usually people, um, a lot of people will file claims months later because they don't realize they have damage, and they rightfully can in most states up to a certain time frame. So one of the most common areas that I see people mess up at is they get the date of loss wrong. And if you want to know more about this, check out a lot of my roofing videos. I have, I don't know, 50 maybe more. So you'll see I talk a lot about the date of loss on there. And this way you'll get more. I don't want to go into depth because that's not what this video is about. Um, when it comes to water damage claim, I see a lot of denied claims when the insured, when the homeowner says, listen, I didn't know the leak was there. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. I didn't see anything. That doesn't help you. Um, the number one reason by far, you can take any and all claims with regards to this. Roof damage claims, wind claims, theft claims, vandalism claims, fire claims. The number one reason why claims get denied is because people say the wrong thing. See, when you have an auto claim, you can hit a bear, you can hit a gorilla, you can hit a building, you can hit the blimp, you can hit uh, anything, and your car gets repaired. That's not the same with homeowners. It's far different, far different. Not everything that happens to your home is covered. No, not at all. So the number one reason is just people handling their own claims and filing on their behalf for themselves and speaking on their behalf. That is by far the number one. So another reason I see a lot is really the presence of mold, which, right, normally stems from some type of water or moisture. And insurance companies are always usually denying these mold claims if there wasn't an immediate sign of water damage. So there's a few others, but these are the more common ones. All right, so let's talk about what you shouldn't do. I, you know what? I'm trying to remember over the last few years. I don't think I really had anybody that got really pissed off at the insurance company. Disappointed, yeah, but for some reason I remember one or two, but it's been years. But just a reminder, don't send any, don't be a jerk. Don't send anything that can hurt you later. But you also shouldn't accept this as a final say when you get the denial letter. All right. You want to make sure also that you don't miss any deadlines, whether that's a deadline of when you're supposed to submit something to the insurance company, like the proof of loss. If you look at State Farm's policy, if you don't do a proof of loss in 60 days, your claim could get denied. All right. But then there's also if your claim get denied, there's other legal deadlines within your state on when you can file a lawsuit. So you want to pay close attention to that as well. Now, this has happened quite a bit, and I would suggest not to have this done. But your claim gets denied, whether it's, I see this mostly with any type of roof damage claim, but they'll have the roofer call in and argue as to why it should be covered. You know, in some cases that's okay. I think I would rather have it done in writing, a very civilized letter. Um, but normally, for the most part, uh, it can make things worse depending on the facts of the case. So I'm not really big on having contractors calling on your behalf. In some states, they can't, like Florida, they can't do it anyhow because they consider that the practice of adjusting claims to some degree, depending on what they're going to talk about. All right. If they're going to talk about the claim, they can't do that anymore like they used to years ago. So, what can you do? What should you do? So, if you don't have the denial in writing, you need to request it. In most states, like Florida, they need to send a denial letter to you in writing. Not, I don't know if every state. I would assume the majority of states do. You want to contact a PA or an attorney. Get there, pick their brain, find out. Do you think I have a case? Can we fight this? All right. You can also ask for a reinspection of things if you think that the adjuster didn't properly document something or documented it the wrong way or said that there was a long-term leak and you have proof to show that there wasn't a long-term leak. Okay. See if you have any information that would help them reconsider the denial. And then you want to explore, there's other avenues which may come to a resolution, depending what state you live in. We'll cover a couple of these alternative dispute resolution avenues. All right. So one is you may want to file a complaint with your state against the insurance company. Now, in Florida, we have what's called DFS. Okay. Department of Financial Services. They are the ones that regulate insurance companies. Other states have the Department of Insurance. Um, Guess what? I think there's another state that has something insurance regulation off of an Office of Insurance Regulation, something like that. But essentially, you get where I'm going with all this. Sometimes that may open the door for them to take a look at everything and see if there should have been coverage afforded to you and the claim not denied. So does your state have a mediation or other similar dispute resolution format? So in Florida, we have a state-provided mediation free of cost. It actually costs the insurance company, I think, $500. And your claim has to be 500 or more, I believe. That's what it is. So I'm not sure what the insurance company pays for. I don't know why 500 sticks in my mind. But anyhow, find out if your state offers anything like that. So here, so sometimes your claim may have been partially denied because they said that the damages are below your deductible, so nothing was paid out to you. So it's kind of like a denial. For instance, let's just say you had a deductible of $2,500. Or, let's take another example. We'll do two. There's one, two. There's a hurricane claim or wind claim. And in Florida, we have a hurricane deductible. Maybe you have a higher deductible in Texas. I don't know. For wind events. So your deductible is $7,600. It's 2%. People in Florida know what I'm talking about. So we have 2%, 5%, 10%. So let's take this $2,500 and they say, well, we estimate your damages to be $1,200. Your deductible is $2,500, so we're not going to pay you anything. Or in this situation, your deductible is $7,600. There's a hurricane. They say your damages are $5,800, below your deductible. We're not going to pay you anything. This opens the door, if you have this language in your policy, called the appraisal clause. You could search my videos for appraisal. I won't get into that now. But essentially, all that means is that, and you can only do it if there was an amount that was covered. It could be $1, it could be $100, it could be $1,000, and it could be $100,000. They just have to open up coverage. They don't necessarily have to pay you anything. Can be under deductible. But what it basically means is that you and the insurance company disagree on the amount of the payment. So you go through an appraisal where you have to hire an appraiser. The insurance company hires an appraiser. Both of those people select an umpire. And then you have at it and determine what the true damages are. So these are a couple different avenues of resolution. Now, one I didn't mention, because you want to save it as the last resort, is a lawsuit. Hiring an attorney for a lawsuit. All right. That actually should be number 4. I forgot to put it. Okay, so hire an attorney is really your last resort if all these other things don't come to fruition or you don't have a road to go down with one of these other resolution procedures, whether it's mediation, appraisal, so on and so forth. Then you go through a lawsuit if it's worth it, if it's over $10,000, and if there's some good justification as to why the claim should be paid. So again, my name is Mike Keeler. I'm a licensed public adjuster in Florida. If you have a question, need help with a claim, that's how you can get a hold of me. My cell phone, my email, and my website. Thank you for watching this video.